Greetings, gods and goddesses in training. Welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, all relations, also known as Sumet Chatterjee. I have a master's in applied positive psychology and coaching psychology. And today we're going to be talking all about a very new topic for me. I don't think I've broken it down to this extent on this channel before, but I wanted to double down on speaking about ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactive disorder, okay, and flow. Now, my background is in positive psychology and flow state science, so I know a little bit about ADHD, but I'm going to look at it from my own lens, okay? And we're going to look at ADHD through a very new lens, and it's not as a problem of attention, but as a challenge of performance, okay? So we're not here to label anybody. We're not here to exaggerate stereotypes, when it comes down to ADHD, because there are a lot of stereotypes and memes about this, like neurodivergent communities, right? And stuff like this. However, I want you to try to think about this very differently, okay? So setting up a new whiteboard, okay? And I got a lot of this information by this guy called Dr. Russell, a very, very powerful um, Dr. Russell Barkley, who reveals some very expert ADHD flow techniques that I wanted to share today. Okay. All right. So, number one, don't forget to breathe. Okay. Don't forget to breathe. What do I mean by that? Don't forget to breathe. It's exactly that. Your breath is like the Google Translate of the body. And you want your breath so solid, so clean, so pure. Inhale, exhale. That you can allow yourself to make yourself one of the greatest versions of you. Now, how do you do this? You use the technology of Primal Sutra. What is Primal, right? Primal is going back to one source. It's the Uga Buga, right? It's the primordial. It's going back to the root cause. What is the Sutra? Sutra is a formula. Sutra is a technique. Sutra is a process, okay? Or a sacred text. So Primal Sutra is a technology for going back to source and using that power to heal. Okay. Now that you understand this, you're looking at ADHD very differently, correct? So I want to start out with introducing something that Bruce Lee said, and I think this is going to help a lot of people, actually, this lecture, especially to those who have never heard of Bruce Lee before. Okay, they kind of know he's a martial artist. Okay, let's add a picture of him to begin this lecture. So he said something along these lines: to express yourself honestly. That's the goal of martial arts, right? To express yourself honestly. That's something rare, my friend. It's not about trying to copy someone else or living by someone else's rules. It's about looking within and saying, who am I? What do I stand for? And then have the courage to let that shine. You see, too many people are caught up pretending, putting on masks to try to fit in. But the truth isn't being yourself, not just some idea of yourself, so not just some version that you think others will accept, but the raw, real, vulnerable you. And let me tell you, that's hard. That's not easy to strip away all the layers of conditioning, the fear, the ego, to just be. I'm channeling Bruce Lee right now, okay? And when do you do it? That's freedom. In martial arts, we call it flow, moving without hesitation, without trying to be something you're not, You hit when you need to hit. You move when you need to move. And you don't stop to think, is this the right way? Is this how it's supposed to look? You just act. You're honest. It's natural. It's real. Life is the same way. You have to stop imitating others, stop being so rigid, forget about trying to follow someone else's style or system. Be like water. Adapt, flow, take the shape of whatever comes your way. Water is soft, but it's powerful. It doesn't need to pretend, it just is. That's honest expression. So you don't think about being perfect. Don't try to be right. Just be you. Because no one in the world can do that. And if you can master that, being yourself without fear, that, my friend, is the ultimate form of expression. Okay? Now, that's my little dive into his frequency, his energy. You saw I took on the accent as well. I'm an actor. I have an acting background and so forth. So I tried my best. Okay. It wasn't the best impression, but you guys got the point, right? This is such a special gift. And I have a special gift for all adepts as well. We created an Enneagram system the other day where we're using the 3 levels of alchemy and like combining it with Tantra. And like it was just this next level, evolution of this thing. And it was absolutely brilliant because combine our shadow, our golden shadow, as well as the bridge. And we created these powerful light codes. And today we're going to activate them to activate. It was from combining all of our different archetypes together, right? So we do a lot of archetypal work, character development work. So we look at different characters and try to merge them into ourselves, look through their eyes, right? And try to live the world with a very unique lens. And I think this can help anybody with ADHD as well, because we're going to explore this. It's a challenge of performance, not a problem of attention. I myself have mild ADHD, and personally, I've learned to fall in love with it. Okay. Because it can just it can pull from random realms, and it's so versatile and funny, right? It's just so humorous. Like you could just be so out of pocket and completely random, and that's completely okay, because I've began to see, let's just say, um, hold on one second. Let me show you guys this. I met this girl in Costa Rica. Shout out Kamala. Not Kamala Harris, though. All right. All right. I'll pause the whiteboard. Okay. I just want to show you guys this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just on a headset. Oh, you are on it. Yeah, I mean, you are on YouTube right now. Yeah. What are you doing to be focused, Samana? Huh? What are you doing to be focused? Well, no, I call it attention down into higher dimensions.
You see that frame shift? Do you see that frame shift? Attention dialed into higher dimensions, guys. Attention dialed into higher dimensions. It is not ADHD to me. This is a gift. And guess what? It's a gift for you to master. It's not a gift for you to forget. What even is that? It's a gift for you to master so you can elevate and tap into these higher realms and bridge the gap between knowing and doing, action and awareness, so you can use this hyper speed, hyper focus that you have with your ADHD in a positive way and not drain yourself. Okay? So, attention dialed to higher dimensions. We got this. And ADHD separates knowing from doing. Okay. This impacts every area of life. But there is hope because I'm learning a lot from this. I'm learning ways to help myself and also help others. This is how we're going to learn. We live in an ADHD economy. What do I mean by that? Everybody has a very short attention span. You can't even watch, some of you guys can't even watch these full videos, right? You're like, give me the bite-sized chunk, right? Give me the little scrimmage, the little, right, breadcrumb of information that fulfills me. Okay? Give me the tiniest bit of wisdom that I could put into good use. Man, it's not always like that, right? It's not always like that. And we got to look at ourselves very differently, actually. We don't have to start looking at ourselves as champions again, as winners again, as people who can dominate in their field, as people who can understand reality differently. We've got to understand there is hope. By re-engineering our environment, tapping into strategies like flow, we can unlock our full potential. So let's define it in simple terms, right? ADHD just isn't about being distracted, okay? It's a disorder of something we call executive functioning. Okay, the reasoning, then the prefrontal cortex, all of these different things. It's about struggling with when and where, not how and why. Do you guys get that? It's about struggling with when and where and not how and why. This means that even if you know exactly what to do, your brain cannot naturally translate that into action without support. So flow is that magical state of deep focus where time fades, effort feels easy, and the results seem to happen effortlessly. So for ADHD individuals, accessing flow is a game changer because it bypasses the brain's struggle with delayed rewards and time blindness. Amazing, as Jesse Lee Peterson would say, right? So now we have this ADHD, this person who's tapping into higher dimensions of mind, bringing it through and understanding that they are the CEO of their own brain now, right? The executive function is the CEO of your brain. It manages planning, prioritizing, organizing, follow through, all these different things. ADHD disrupts all 7 executive functions, making it harder to aim behavior towards long-term goals. So ADHD brains are wired to struggle with converting knowledge into action. This is why ADHD is called a performance disorder. It's one of the biggest barriers to flow for ADHD individuals is time blindness. Okay. So the inability to perceive time passing or to feel a future reward. Flow requires you to be in the now, but ADHD often traps people in the now in either overwhelm or inertia, right? So we're starting to understand it, right? We're starting to understand its impact on flow state. So flow state leverages immediate feedback, right? Intrinsic engagement, which aligns perfectly with ADHD's need for external motivation, quick rewards. You know, video games do this naturally, but oftentimes life tasks, they don't, right? Life tasks don't give you that immediate feedback, that instant gratification, doesn't. You guys get that? And once we start to understand that ADHD brains struggle with holding information in working memory. So we've got to overcome this, right? We've got to make information physical and visible. So important, guys. So important. Making information physical and visible. If I don't write it down, I'm going to forget it. Okay? whiteboards, post-it notes, digital apps. Stack on these, make them fun for you. Out of sight, out of mind is a big reality for ADHD. So keep all your goals in your visual field. By the way, if you struggle with ADHD, you are going to get access to more so trickster beings or heyokas, because that's just the way that your neurodivergent brain works. So I work with Hermes. Okay. Maybe some of you will also notice that I'm drawn to more different kinds of energies, right? And this is, of course, very, very new work. This is cutting edge research and work that I'm doing in regards to channeling and working with, different, maybe even paranormal states of mind, and working, combining mysticism and spirituality into the flow state in high performance fields, right? Very epic. So externalized time, obviously, you can use apps and clocks and time, make time more tangible, right? Trackable units, Pomodoro technique, you're going to download the app, okay? Which is basically like 25 minutes of focus, 5-minute rest, 25 minutes of focus, 5-minute rest, right? So the 5 minutes of just like, let's say you get up and you start stretching for 5 minutes, right? You get up, you loiter around a bit, you stretch, you come back, you do some breath work or something, then you get back into work. So these little things, I mean, they're so useful, but we just don't do it. You know what I mean? So ADHD brains get really overwhelmed by really huge tasks. Instead of saying clean your room, maybe start by saying pick up your clothes. Because honestly, I've noticed this myself. Every small win builds momentum. It nudges you towards your peak performance. Every small win nudges you towards your peak performance and what it feels like to actually tap in, right? Because it's a very gratifying feeling, and it can be very sustainable if we lead lives that create more micro flow in our lives to create more macro flow. So the more micro flow you create, more little moments, little pockets of consciousness, little moments of trance, good trance, right? Like hypnotic suggestions in the physical world that give you a great feeling internally. It's going to start to stack. So break goals into baby steps. Okay. Kaizen approach. Okay. Continuous progress, just little by little. Do the first thing you need to do. Don't worry about the big, scary, end result or whatever. Okay. So I know the ADHD brains thrive on external rewards. So if I finish this report, I'll watch my favorite show. That's a good reward. Good. Gamify your day works wonders, right? For every task I complete, I earn a point toward a reward or buy myself something nice or something. Whatever it is, right? You got to give your brain this fuel and you manage the fuel tank, right? So your brain's executive system runs on limited energy. So you take frequent breaks to recharge. You can also do 10 and 3 rule. I mean, 10 minutes of work, 3 minutes of rest too. That helps your tank from running dry. So exercise is actually ADHD's best friend, I would say, because it improves focus, boosts mood, and fuels the brain, right? So aim for some kind of a daily movement, even if it's just dancing in your room, okay? Some kind of daily movement. And if you can even make it more regular, like just find the fun in it, find the joy in it, maybe have some friends that, uh, can make you accountable for these things. That's a really good move. So you're doing them together. And it's much easier to combine two people's energies. Two brains are better than one, right? So don't just rely on your own ideas, rely on collaboration too. I mean, exercise is great, but exercising with way more people, in a gym or something is very different because you're getting the morphic resonance of that place, right? So very, very powerful. Anyway, don't rely on just mental manipulations alone, like use tools like number lines, calculators, whatever, right, to solve problems, but make things tactile, make thinking tactile. Your thoughts have to be something you can see and hold and, bring towards you closer. And you've got to leverage your positive emotion because flow thrives on joy and curiosity. Okay. So you got to find tasks that genuinely interest you to add an element of fun to routine tasks. Next, part 3 would be something I call building a flow-friendly environment for you. So scaffolding. Scaffolding means creating systems and supports to guide your actions. So like maybe using a reminder or subscription service for recurring tasks you have to do. A flow zone, a workspace that's optimized for focus, free of distractions. Accountability partners, we check in on your progress, right? So, and you shorten the delay between effort and reward. Okay. So ADHD brains cannot handle delayed rewards. Bring them closer. Create mini deadlines within larger projects, right? You gotta almost short circuit your dopamine. Celebrate every small step to keep the motivation high. You're doing it, yeah, baby, that energy. So you got to place visual triggers in your environment, goal trackers, maybe photos of, vision boards, something that inspires you to align to your goals so that you don't forget, right? Keep in your mind things that really pull you towards your greatest visions, right? Right in front of me, I look in front of me, I see a wave, I see Bruce Lee, I see a dartboard, I see health, wealth, relationships, I see Padmasambhava, I see uh what's his name, Dorji Shukdan, I see the Buddha, I see this Aztec carving, I see Brahma, I see Shiva, I see this golden rose, I see this white rose, I see this peacock feather. You see, so this is all creating my world, creating a specific vibration of Shambhala or whatever I'm doing, right? I'm bringing that closer to me in the physical world through these little symbols and different things, right? And in front of me, I see these fairy cards. And of course, I'm deeply connected to that realm in the Fae. And I really appreciate the fact that I can use my imagination and actually do this. Something that moves me, something that inspires me, keeps me going, in a way. And it's almost like, let's say you're having a conversation with someone and someone else comes into the conversation and they try like interrupting, right? Like in that moment, that you're just gonna, oh, awesome, bro, right? It's not that important, right? You know that you need this conversation to stay alive in some. But this is what hyperfocus does because hyperfocus just tunes out that other person, right? Hyperfocus locks into something like a flow state, and you use this ability for your hyperfocus to stay aligned on your passions and priorities. So ADHD brains excel in creative problem solving, thinking outside the box. They excel at it compared to the average mind. Billionaire brains are also said to be ADHD brains a little bit. Okay. So these are invaluable strengths in today's fast-paced, innovative, technologically advanced world, right? You got to celebrate your creativity and adaptability. Embrace hyperfocus as your superpower. Yeah, I can lock in on things that I'm really passionate about, but there's something that is forced upon me, like having to go to school and like, following under this boss. No, right? So it's like that is deeply ingrained into my Jungian archetype, right? Which goes against that. So, but it's still shadow to work through. So I'm working on more structure and so forth. So your struggles with time and focus are invitations to design a life that starts to work for you. And every system you build builds you closer, brings you closer towards this best self that you're constantly creating. This is a journey of character development, right? Even in the world of ADHD. All right. So medication and therapy. So while environment design is crucial, some people do need medication, CBT, increase executive functioning, more flow access, work with professionals to find what works for you, I'd say. And, you know, you can even start to work with me one-on-one or two-on-one in our processes. And you know, using nootropics, try nootropics or nootropics, supplementation instead of pills right away. I would say educate rather than medicate first, right? Educate yourself about it, and then you can try and take that other route or make things more swifter for you, right? Like that girl said, I take Adderall to focus. You know what I mean? So you got to keep a journal or tracker to notice what strategies work best for you. And you have to celebrate your wins no matter how small. 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 Okay? Size doesn't matter when it comes down to your wins. Okay? You got to stack them. Stack them like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Stack them like Jenga. Okay? Doesn't matter how tiny it is. It's still a win. ADHD doesn't define your limits. It defines how you can approach life differently. So you got to carve your own ADHD path, my friend. By building the right scaffolding and leaning into your unique strengths, you are a pioneer and you can thrive to unlock flows in ways that others can't. End of story, right? So take one idea from today's video, apply it this week, share your experience, maybe share this video with someone who gets it, because you're not alone in this, okay? And the way I want to explain this, I got some very deep inner work to do right now as there's travel coming up. Hopefully we end up in, well, no, it's already going to happen. Okay. I'm just going to manifest it now. Just feel into the energy. We're already in New Zealand. Okay. That's the energy. Okay. And I have some prep work to do. So how can I end this? Maybe some practical things. Okay. Do you have any questions, guys? Any questions at all in the chat? Anything that's coming up for either of you? If not, that's fine. Completely valid. Okay. Completely valid. However, if you do have any questions in regards to flow state and or ADHD, just let me know in the chat. Okay. And then maybe we can find a way from it that we can learn. Okay. Can learn a way to work with it. Okay. In a sense. All right. Nobody. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I guess we will move along then. We'll move along. Again, it's like feeling overwhelmed is a very familiar experience, right? And using these strategies, right? There's habit circuitry, there's cognitive reframing, there's, delaying failure, all of these techniques that you can use. It's like being spread thin every day for your entire life. That's you have so many interests and hobbies that you can't put enough time into one. You get bored with it and you really switch from one to the other, right? You never finish projects. You're like, fuck that. I'm on to the next thing, right? But ADHD is good at damage control, not damage prevention. Okay. So they get super stressed by small inconveniences. Then most regular people, they won't think twice about that. But if you're put into a high pressure situation, suddenly ADHD becomes as cool as a cucumber. Other people are frozen in fear in those situations. This wires you in. You're like, right? My goodness, there's risk. I prepped my whole life for this or something like that, right? It's like something takes you over. Do you notice that you're calm when people are panicking and you're panicking when people are calm? That's how you know, okay? Listen, I understand it can be hell. I know people glorify it, make it seem funny or cool or whatever. I'm not doing that with this video. I understand, and do the best job that you can for as long as possible. Accept yourself. Have hope. You can do it. You can do it. I 100% believe in you if you commit. I constantly know you have this empty feeling and you don't know what to do when you see all the things you need to do and it freezes you. So you need to build that pressure up for you to even take action, to build up that for you to actually move. But when things are calm, you cannot regulate yourself. And this is a bitter pill to swallow for all of us people with ADHD. Man, I struggle so hard to engage in consistent behavior. It feels like I have to try so hard with everything, right? And you can get into a victim mind like this. Or you can tap into, if I'm going to go down, why don't I go down in flames? Once you decide it's okay to fail spectacularly, you could try your best without preemptively quitting. You're a bright person, but you're dealing with this quote unquote failure. It's in how you perceive it. Are you a loser or a winner in transit? This means that you have to take advantage of the automation of your brain circuitry. You need to delay failure. Try as long as possible, even if failure seems certain. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Did they not say that? Do it until the bitter end. Okay? The bittersweet end. Celebrate the small improvements. It's so important. It's such a key, bro. I know it's such an easy thing to say, like use Kaizen approach, like some guy on YouTube is yelling at you. But really, once you really reflect it out into your physical world, you're going, wait a second. I finally found some peace in my situation by refusing to play by the world's expectations, right? I'm doing whatever makes me happy. If that means less money, so be it. But I am not going to be, you know, holding myself to some weird standard of productivity. I want to create the way I want to create. The moment I came to peace with that, I could finally start living my life. My life. You get that? You're trying to stop failure. Cut it out. Cut it out. You're going to have to push your habit circuitry and frontal lobe analysis is, I mean, the self-analysis, how the mind works, right? You got to get into better thinking habits. The biggest obstacle we run into regarding habits, and this is from years of doing this stuff, is we train our brains to resent our habits. And we haven't forgiven ourselves. We've never known the actual feeling of having a good habit ingrained into our psyche. And so now it begins. Is there something you can do every day, even when you're groggy, even when you miss, like you don't miss a day, right? That's beautiful. This is a huge grenade for some of you, right? Like, listen, thank you so much for everybody on this process, for all of you for opening your minds. Just know that you're free to express yourself, yo. Right? Get yourself known, be seen, be heard. You deserve this. There have been many days where I've been like, I don't want to go on video. I don't want to talk about this. It's not that time. This is a time to expand and grow. So think about this, right? ADHD minds are like having 12 browser tabs open at once, each draining your energy. So every thought of focus point is like spending energy. And if you have a million thoughts, a million of your energy is gone, your priceless currency. So when we invest energy in thoughts or situations that do not nourish us, it's like leaving the water running. You drain yourself without any replenishment. The life force is finite each day, and by understanding this, you can direct it towards creation and connection, right? Is this task, thought, interaction feeding my energy or leaking it? If it's the latter, it's time to close that tab. Redirect your focus. Because this is a process of discernment and forgiveness. Forgive yourself for past energy leaks, right? ADHD makes it easy to get distracted, but now you take charge because you focus on energy exchanges that light you up, brighten you, contribute to your life's vision. So when you fully align with it, you see the beauty and the radiance of existence itself. So for ADHD, this means a couple of things, okay? Find a few key things that you channel your life force into, okay? You got to prioritize your focus, your flow state, okay? Reduce mental clutter by unresolved projects or just thoughts or random stuff that you keep backpedaling on or like thinking about and then going back to. Just close them. Just close them. Okay. Be mindful of who or what occupies your mental space. Don't let people live rent free in your mind. Okay. And finally, celebrate the now. Okay. Celebrate the now. Because you've got to let the excitement of life come from simply being. Take this as a download for you today. Every moment offers its own completeness. By living this way, even with ADHD, attention to all the entire dimensions, you shift from distraction to traction to purposeful creation because life becomes not a struggle anymore. It becomes a dance of love. You're building something meaningful while staying true to your brain type, your unique path that you're carving, and you're staying true to your own essence. Let's go, baby. Why do you think back in the day, all these artists, they called themselves aliens, these different beings try to segregate themselves, all neurodivergent people, right? Indigo children are the neurodivergent. They're the brains, they've been gifted from the other side, this realm, right? Now we have to use it to the best of our capacity. We cannot keep shaming ourselves eternally for this any longer. So be like Bruce Lee and give yourself an honest expression. Express yourself honestly, express yourself openly. And together we will create an amazing world full of infinite divine possibilities. And so, to all of you spiritual baddies and daddies, okay, I hope this helped you out today. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, wherever it is you're tuning in from. I'm sending you love from Kolkata, India, all the way to you, wherever you are on the planet right now. Much love. I see you. I hear you. We got this. You got this. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. May the flow be with you. We'll talk soon. I'll see you in the astral. Adepts, get ready. Do the Enneagram quiz, okay? Do the Enneagram quiz. You're going to get this amazing light code. Let's go. Let's win. Yeah.